All right, we'll get started. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. For this webinar, we'll kind of go over, obviously, Rapsodo technology, go through a few different products that we currently have, and then being able to basically apply that data, whether it's college, high school, different use cases, and being able to apply that to the player development. So we will get started. Through this webinar, we'll take you through a few different things, but we'll kind of provide the journey of how we got to where we are today. We'll go over some kind of the ecosystem of how people start with it, and then kind of towards the end in terms of our cloud. We'll have the hardware options. We'll go over each of the baseball and softball applications that are used on the iPads, and then being able to put a Rapsodo into use, how people are getting how they're applying it to their situation. We'll go over a couple different features as well, as we came out with a few different ones over the last couple of months. We'll go over different session types that you're able to utilize, and then be able to go through the cloud as well towards the end. So, and then obviously at the end, feel free to ask any questions. If you can, feel free to do that in the Q&A chat. That would be greatly appreciated. We'll be able to answer those as we get towards the end. So appreciate it. And then to introduce ourselves, my name's Adam. I'm part of the sales team. And then
I'm Carter. I'm also on the sales team. I cover the eastern half of the U.S., and then Adam covers the western. All right, so a little bit about the history of Rapsodo and where we currently stand. So the first product, as you can see at the top, all the way back in 2016, was the Pitching 1.0. which then evolved into the Pitching 2.0 and the Hitting 2.0, along with the inside camera. And then that takes us to where we are today with the Pro 3.0 unit and then the Pro 2.0 unit. One thing to mention here is we're going to talk about it later, but we do have upgrade programs if you guys currently have the Pitching 1.0, Pitching 2.0, and the Hitting 2.0. And then currently 28 MLB teams do use Rapsodo. A little over 540K players. There are 80 million hits tracked, 350 plus pros use Rapsodo, 24,000 coaches, and then about 53 million pitches have been tracked. All right, now to cover the Rapsodo product ecosystem. So there's two things included with a Rapsodo purchase. That is the unit and the membership. So to start off with the unit, pictured there is the Pro 2.0 unit, which is our newest unit. The unit itself sits on the ground in between the pitcher and the hitter. There is its own Wi-Fi source built into the unit. So during the session, directly from the iPad, you are connected to the Rapsodo Wi-Fi. You're able to capture hitting data and pitching data both with the Pro 2.0 unit as well as the Pro 3.0 unit. And then with the iPad, it helps organize practice. The iPad app is actually, there's a Rapsodo baseball app, Rapsodo softball app that you would be using during the session. Both help you organize practices and set up sessions. As you can see there, visualize data in real time for coaching, and then you can review it later as well. There's simulated field mode or video mode, and then all the data is synced into the Rapsodo cloud once you are finished. And then to jump in the Rapsodo cloud, that's where all the data is stored and saved over time, along with any videos that you might want to take straight from the iPad. It's also the portal to analyze player data, and then you can access detailed charts, which help with progress reporting as well as scouting and recruiting. And then there is mobile access to all the coaches as well as all the players.
And then here, we'll kind of go through more of the video aspect to it. Obviously, you'll see the data as well, but part of the training, I think something that helps players visually see it is more the video, whether you're taking a video or more the 3D visual, which I'll show you here in a minute. So I'll play this instant video replay back from this pitching session. So you'll see here that it'll replay the video back in slow motion, and the data is going to be connected on that right side of the page to kind of be able to tailor, make certain adjustments maybe for that next pitch. Very good and more of a training tool or for even bullpens with coaches there. So second one here will be 3D visual. same concept, but you're able to be able to have more of a visual that's part of the application. So you're not taking a video here, but you're able to see it visually and be able to have the data to correlate that and back that up from that pitch. So you'll notice too on the left side of the screen at the top right, that's where your pitches are all located at. So you're able to understand and click back to whatever pitch you want to see. And at the very bottom of that page, you'll notice the different pitch types. So you can kind of categorize and understand which pitch type was thrown at that time. So that's all within the application. And then here at the very bottom towards the right is going to be more of the player post-session reports. So it's going to be more of digging into that data deeper, understanding what's going on, kind of giving a full scope of what's happening. So more of a post-session type of report that's being provided here, but this is going to be done in our cloud. And the application is more that real-time feedback that you're receiving. And then here, just more of structuring a session. So I will pull up this video as I talk through this, but obviously you'll see here, this is part of the softball application for pitching. So kind of using Rapsodo, a big part of it is being able to kind of understand where that athlete's at. So being able to start a bullpen session, understand if it's full intent, maybe they're just getting warmed up for that pitcher, and then being able to review that session as well. So being able to have a summary and then being able to make adjustments based off that session with that coach. So I think visually seeing just in this video that you're seeing here on the left is I think this really helps players understand it and even ask questions to coaches. Being able to see something visually, I think helps that a lot, just from my experience. And then part of it too is after the session's over, being able to go on the left side here and being able to review those pitches as well. So certainly helpful. And you'll notice here on the video that there's actually a video you can take, which is obviously showing the unit right now, but you can take a video of the pitcher pitching the ball from a pitching perspective. So and then ultimately the long-term plan is building a development plan for that athlete. Obviously it's great to have that immediate feedback, but over a 6-month period, like how am I training that player to get better? What am I providing to him in order to give him more measurables to be able to understand that progress over time? So add something to it.
Before we jump forward, there was a question asked that does apply to this. So does the unit auto tag the pitch or do I have to do that?
A great question. Yeah, so with this, it's going to, based on what you've thrown before, it's going to automatically provide that pitch type at the bottom there based off the data that's thrown. If it's something where maybe it's a curveball versus slider, you're able to change that within the application based off the pitch type, but it will do it automatically from the application. Great question there.
And then now to jump into the Pro 2.0 unit. So with the Pro 2.0 unit, you can purchase it for hitting data only, pitching data only, or for both. As you can see in the bottom left corner, this is also the unit that we have for softball. You can use the same unit for both baseball and softball as well. So if you were looking at purchasing for hitting data only or pitching data only, it would be $3,500. If you wanted it for both hitting and pitching data, it is $4,500. One thing to note here is this is the product that we have for softball live on live, which is a new feature that just came out. So you can use the Pro 2.0 unit for softball. It'll show you the pitcher's data and the hitter's data at the same time. So you can use it for live on live at bats.
Then one thing to note here, so say for example, you had pitching only. There's 2 cameras that are part of this Pro 2.0 unit. So even if you have pitching only, that second camera facing home plate is still picking up that pitch. So both are working together, just not one or the other in terms of the camera side of things. So we are picking up the full ball flight in terms of the pitching side of things. So one thing to note there.
And then now jumping into the Pro 3.0 unit. The Pro 3.0 unit does only work for baseball, so you're not able to get this unit for softball. There was recently a price drop on the Pro 3.0 unit for Black Friday. So it is for a limited time, but the unit is $7,500. This will be your live on live unit for baseball. It also is our highest level unit. It involves or it includes higher level data metrics, specifically on the pitching side, which are seam orientation, seam shifted wake. Those are 2 data points you will not see with the other units. The unit itself has 3 cameras and 2 radars in the unit. It is considered our highest level tool. And then, like I was saying, you are able to use this unit for live on live sessions for baseball. And then kind of a comparison from the legacy units to the Pro 2.0 and Pro 3.0 unit. So the big one is with the cameras and the radars. So the older hitting and pitching 2.0 units, they had 1 camera and 1 radar in those units. With the Pro 2.0 unit, you now get 2 cameras and 2 radars, and then 3 cameras and 2 radars with the Pro 3.0 unit. Both gradually have faster processing time, both for hitting and for pitching as well. The battery life is longer, easier and quicker setup process as well. And also right now, with the Black Friday promotion, there's a free gift with purchase when upgrading. If you did want to upgrade from either the hitting 2.0, pitching 2.0, or even both. And then you can take advantage of the lowest price of the year with upgrades, which go as low as $1,000. This was something of interest to you. We'll leave it. We'll include it at the end as well, but you could always reach out to sales@rapsodo.com, and then we'll be able to help you out with that.
Yep, absolutely. And then here, as I talked about earlier, we have some new features that we've implemented over the last couple months. So this is one of them. A really great tool for more of a structure, being able to have scripted bullpen sessions. So whether it's baseball or softball, it's part of both applications on each unit. So I think this one really gives the player and/or coach ability to put together a plan for that athlete, and being able to say you do it 2 to 3 times, maybe each week or bi-weekly, being able to have that repeatability within that same session to understand what improvements have been made over time. So you'll still hear in the front picture that there's 3. You can kind of basically structure where you want the ball to be thrown at within that quadrant zone of the 9 box. And then you are able to pick different pitch types within those sessions as well. So a tool that people have wanted for a while, and we're able to come through with it over the last couple months. So definitely encourage, if you guys would end up having Rapsodo, definitely encourage you to utilize it, as it's a great tool, especially from a coaching perspective, and then being able to have that athlete that's part of the training as well.
And then I did mention it a little bit earlier, but the newest feature is the live on live for softball with the Pro 2.0 unit. This dropped a few weeks ago, but right now there is no extra charge. That is for a limited time as well. So if you did want to take advantage of that, that is with the Pro 2.0 unit, which for softball only will give you live on live feedback.
And then here, this is kind of as I reviewed in a previous slide, kind of the cloud aspect of Rapsodo. First is your session with the unit. You'll have that immediate feedback from the iPad, and then everything translates to the cloud portal, which is normally accessed from a computer. It's easy being able to download reports and easily get access to it from your coach account that's created. So you'll see different reports here. Obviously, the data itself pulls it directly from the session that was taken, and then you're able to really understand strikes on location, as you see there, or different spikes between spin rate versus velo, and being able to compare and contrast those data metrics. So something that's really the valuable piece of Rapsodo, just because that's really where, whether it's a high schooler looking to get recruited, this is where all this happens at. So something that's definitely valuable, and something that if looking to get success with Rapsodo, this is where it all really hones in on ultimately from this cloud. So now I'll kind of show you a little snippet of what you would see from a coach account standpoint within the cloud. So here's a little video. Basically, these are like player profiles that are part of the coach account within here. And then you'll notice at the top, there is baseball and softball. So you can toggle between one or the other at one time. And then it'll give you the date of the session taken. And then it'll go into more depth in terms of, was it hitting, pitching? Were you using 2.0, 3.0? Then being able to have on the right side over here, it'll give you the pitch or hit amount that was taken for that athlete. So And then this is really diving in deeper to kind of more the reporting aspect of it, where you're able to understand what's taking place from that session. So all valuable stuff here. This is part of the cloud portal within an actual profile that you're going to have. And then you can also download this as a PDF form. So if you wanted to send it to a coach for recruiting purposes or send it to just whoever, you're able to pull that directly from the cloud, which is through a website that you'd have access to. So a little bit more separate from the application, but through a website that you'd have access through your account that you would create. So more the value piece again. I want to echo that again. This is definitely something that you want to. This is where you build the player profiles at, and then be able to have success. Ultimately, comes from this cloud. And then here, kind of pulling a report from more of the application side of things. This is going to be a post-session report from the iPad. So you can also run a session. Say you finish that session, and then you want to go right back into that player profile within the iPad. You can do that. So going to be more of the immediate feedback that's taking place within that session, being able to make small adjustments based off that session. But you can go more in depth. Click on that particular pitch that was thrown, and then be able to even you'll notice here in a minute to be able to write notes. So if you wanted to write a certain note for that player that occurred in that session, that's available on the right side of that page. And then if you want to as well, there's also video. So if you take video of that player hitting or pitching that's coming from the iPad, it'll show up right here underneath the video section as well. So just a few things there to note. All valuable information, but more of that immediate feedback that you're able to go directly back into that iPad and see that immediately after that session. So provides more of a report from the iPad side of things. And then this is actually a player report that is done from the iPad as well. So we looked at it from the cloud, very similar concept, just from the iPad. So there is some flexibility there that we did not have before that we have available through the iPad. So just easy access, very similar concept with the cloud, but just from a reporting concept from a player report. So coaches can see it, but then if the player wants to log in through their player profile, they would have access as well. So again, this is more the valuable aspect to it, but everything is stored within that profile that you would create. So anything to add there, Carter? Okay.
And then what Adam was just sharing, I would say that's really the big part of like a membership perk of having the membership is being able to do all of that with the membership, get your kid recruited. So now we are jumping right into the membership. So the lowest tier membership that we have more for individuals. If you're trying to use it at home cage, just a couple individuals, that would be the at-home use or individual membership as we call it. That one is $500 a year. It does limit you to 2 player profiles. There is also a high school membership. This is for high school specific programs only. That one is $1,000 a year. This gives you access to 100 player profiles. And then the highest tier one is for tailored to colleges and academies or facilities. That one is the team membership for $1,500 a year. This gives you access to 150 player profiles. One thing I do want to note here is if you do have the Pro 2.0 unit, you wanted to use that unit for both baseball and softball, the memberships are a little bit different there. We would love to share more information with you about those, but just wanted to make note of that as well. And then right now, this is the best deal of the season that we have going on. Included with new purchases is that free iPad travel case and a Rapsodo banner, which is about $650 in value with each purchase. And then as we discussed earlier, with all upgrades right now is a free travel case and a free Rapsodo banner. All this is while supplies last. So but yeah, this will be the best deal that we have all year.
And one thing to note too, obviously an iPad's important because you have to have one to use Rapsodo. But there are certain requirements, so it does have to be a 10th or newer in terms of using it with Rapsodo, and this one's 11th generation. So just something to note, some people have iPads, but they might be older, not compatible with our devices. So, but yeah, like Carter said, best deal of the year. If you're looking into Rapsodo, obviously feel free to let us know. Happy to jump on a call or discuss things over email. So. And then, yeah, just in terms of touching base with us, social media, obviously we have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. So, and then at the bottom here, there's some good tutorials. So if you wanted to jump and whether you email us at sales@rapsodo.com or jump on a call, these videos at the bottom here are great examples of using the unit, which is the tutorial one. And then here on the left is Xavier Scruggs. Used to play in the MLB, and he went through kind of a baseline kind of idea on the hitting aspect of the Pro 2.0 with Rapsodo. So a good video to check out as well if you were interested.
And then also at the bottom here, if you guys ever need a way to get in touch with us, or if you are a current Rapsodo user, ever have any difficulties, any questions about your unit, you could email our support team down there, which is support@rapsodo.com. Even if it's about sales, feel free to reach out to them as well. Otherwise, this sales email is sales@rapsodo.com, or there are forms on our website that you could fill out as well.
And yeah, I appreciate you guys staying on. Any questions, Carter, that we can go over?
So we do have a few in the chat. If anyone else has any more questions, feel free to type in as well. So is the data and/or the player reports exportable from the cloud? Seeing and hearing about this tool often from D1 softball programs and other colleges of all levels. Curious about sharing the data from our account with other coaches or with the players. So you can download all the data as CSV files. You do this directly from the Rapsodo cloud. You can save those, send those out to the players, send those out to coaches, to parents. But yeah, you can download all the data as CSV files.
Yep, exactly. To add on to that, everything's downloadable from the cloud to pull a report from. It's not necessarily something like if somebody's being recruited, they're not going to have access to go into their player account or to be able to see it from a coach account. So it's something that the player and or coach would have to send directly to that recruiter or college coach potentially, but just something to note there as well.
When will you have Insight 2.0 for supporting Pro 2.0?
Great question. Yeah. Yeah, right now, I would say our ultimate goal is going to be something where there's a product that's external from the Pro 2.0 unit that would capture video to be able to capture more of like an Insight type of product. It's going to be a little bit different than the Insight in terms of how that was put together with the product itself. But I think our ultimate goal is to have a video capture that would be separate from the iPad, but be able to capture really a zoned in, like seeing the last finger off the ball type of frame shot from a video standpoint. So stay tuned on that. Hopefully that'll be something coming up down the pipeline.
Yep. And then I have tried to see what the preloaded sessions from Rapsodo are. How do I see what the session is? So in regards to before that you start a session, you can pick through different session types. So T-work, soft toss, batting practice, low intent bullpen, high intent bullpen. After the session's over, all the data will be synced from the iPad into the Rapsodo cloud. That's where all the sessions will be saved and stored over time.
Yeah, and you can, like, once you finish a session, you can like note that session of like what you want to call it. If you want to call it like live on live or whatever the case may be, you can note that like post session. But going into that session, you'll select T-work, front toss in order to get you into that session to record that, whether it be hitting or pitching.
Yep. So. And then the next one, can multiple iPads be connected at once? So you do have to use only one iPad can be connected to the unit at once. So if you are using the 3.0 for live on live or the Pro 2.0 for softball for live on live, it'll show you the pitcher's data and the hitter's data at the same time on that same iPad.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want an iPad, if you're trying to take like multiple angles of like a video, like some people will try to take two, like a hitter pitcher video. it would have to come from the same iPad right now. So if you're looking to get that in the same capture shot, obviously you'd have to be zoomed out a little bit to capture both of them, but it would have to come from the same iPad for that one session.
Can you get the data to a larger display like a TV?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, very common. Initially, when you get set up, it'll be connected to that iPad. Most commonly done is people will screen mirror the iPad to a television that is set up nearby. You do have to have an Apple TV add-on in order to screen mirror for that to make that happen. So if you guys have questions on that or anything like that, let us know. We can help out in terms of getting that screen mirror to the television, but very common. So absolutely.
And then did you say you need an 11th gen iPad, or is 10th fine? I missed that part. So yeah, 10th is totally fine. So we just recommend if it's a regular iPad, then 8th generation or newer. If it's an iPad Pro, then 3rd generation or newer. A 10 works completely fine. The 11th gen iPad is just the iPad that's included in the Black Friday promotion right now. And then looks like the last one we got, unless anyone else has any more questions, is there anything in development for any game like features like a home run derby or things like that, or more for fun?
Yeah, good question there. Yeah, it's definitely, I would say, definitely looking into it. Nothing immediate in terms of that coming out, but I would say hopefully something down the line, maybe just like home run derby or more of a gamified aspect to be playing. But right now it's more that 3D visual. We're able to see the ball flight and be able to see where that ball's going. But stay tuned on that. So we'll keep you guys updated on more of the gamified side of things.
Yeah, I'm sure. Doesn't look like there's any other questions. We'll stay on for a little bit if there are any more questions, but
yeah, no more questions. We appreciate you guys coming on this afternoon, taking a little bit of your time out of your day. So we do appreciate it. And like I said, if any questions come up, support@rapsodo.com for email or sales@rapsodo.com for the other email. So yeah, we appreciate it, and we look forward to maybe hearing from you guys, or obviously if you have questions, feel free to let us know. So thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.